Hello and welcome back to Chicken for Breakfast, the podcast where we talk about the basic fundamentals of life in perspective to, well, us. Today we got a very special episode coming about the life of chicken for breakfast, so thank you for tuning in. We got Jax.
How's it going? How's it going?
First time on Chicken for Breakfast. How's it feel?
I'm very excited, very excited. Heard great things.
Great things indeed. All right, and then we got Darian again.
Hey, yo, it's good.
All right, anyway.
I'm
I'm just kidding. So, today we are talking about, like I said, the life of chicken for breakfast, and we got a really cool setup. We got a camera here. Yeah, it's really cool. So
You forgot that one.
Well, obviously this one. That's. I'm talking to them on this one. All right. So, we named Chicken for Breakfast a while ago. When we first got to OMS, we started. Darian and I, our first podcast was about social media and influencing and all that jazz.
It was
a really
definitely
fun
lit.
podcast.
It was definitely
It was
lit.
great. We had a group of 5, and it got cut down to a group of 2 because no one showed up. And that was a great adaptation we had to learn. But from that experience, we all started a podcast because. Well, why did you start your own individual podcast?
Well, I've always wanted to because I would always be at home and I'd watch some of my favorite sports podcasts, and I was like, I know a lot about sports, so why can't I do that? I want to be able to do that. That's what I want to do. So I just coming here, it gave me an opportunity to do it. They showed me how to do it, how to edit everything, and I started doing it.
Absolutely. And what about you?
Pretty much the same reason. Just enjoying, loving sports, want to talk about it. Sometimes you feel like you have a lot to say. And plus, I feel like when you talk about a podcast and you could, talk your own thoughts, truths, it could be about anything on top of that. So for some people, it could be like them bending to themselves. But when you put it out there, it's like you can relate to a lot of people. So, hey, voices just trying to be heard, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you did a podcast. Yours was strictly sports.
Yeah.
And yours was I might do sports, I might do life.
Mine was 50-50. I didn't want to seem one-sided because not everybody likes sports. You know what I'm saying? So it was I'd do a 50-50.
And then my podcast, when I made it, I wanted it to be about life and about other people who might be in the same kind of situations that we are in. Because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all the same. We all have the same struggles, the same emotions, the same everything.
Facts.
So we came up with a podcast where we talk about life, and what better name than Chicken for Breakfast, right?
It's a very different name.
It's do you eat chicken for breakfast?
Sometimes it's really a good idea. But sometimes I do eat chicken. I lost my train of thought. Wow. Okay. Oh yeah. Sometimes people call it chicken and waffles when they hear about my podcast. They're like, "Oh yeah, you do that podcast, chicken for waffles." I know Dom does that, but yeah, came up with a really cool name for 2 different reasons. One of them was wanting it to be different because it stands out, and like you said in one of our other podcasts before, it kind of suits me. It's just one of those weird things, but it makes sense
In a good way.
in a good way.
In a bad
In a good
way.
Yeah.
Very
yeah,
positive.
Yeah.
All good things.
It's fitting, but we also did it because you've heard of the phrase "chicken soup is good for the soul," right?
Yeah.
Because when you eat it, and you're sick, and then you eat it, and you feel better.
Yes.
So I consider chicken to be a soul food. You can also look it up on Google. You look up soul food, and chicken will pop up. It's just-
All that stuff.
who doesn't like chicken? Well, I know.
I can
someone who doesn't like
definitely attend for that. Yes, it is.
chicken. Oh man. So chicken is a soul food, and we love chicken for breakfast. And what better way to start our day by eating chicken? I just feel like the concept of eating a soul food and talking about life, it makes sense if you think about it. To me, it makes sense to. I'm not explaining it great, obviously, but eating chicken for breakfast is starting your day out right, and that's what this podcast was supposed to be about. It's how do we live a good life? The first step is eating chicken for breakfast, eating a soul food to start your day.
I would agree with that very much.
I was like, whoa, okay.
I'll take it. I ain't never did it, but I should try it.
So I think one of the hardest things about the podcast so far has been keeping up with it, the consistency. And I know that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
That's kind of a problem
Thanks.
with podcasts. So I know you each had your own individual podcast. You had On Point podcast, and you had the Grind to Success podcast.
Yeah.
And then I know you were more consistent. No offense. You were more consistent with it. but you mainly like helped other people with their podcast more.
I would do both because like I would record 2 in one day.
Oh,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
I would always have like an episode for the next week already, and then when
yeah,
I
that
would,
does make
you
more
know,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I would do yours, like I already had mine done. Or when we did ours together, yours would be like the one I would do next week, not this week.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, if it seemed like I was going, no, I just did 2 in one day.
But we all had our own podcast, and then you two stopped doing your own individual podcast because you both like sports.
Mm-hmm.
You both
Facts.
created the 2min2go podcast on YouTube. Go check that out.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Free promo, not paid.
But why did you guys decide to embrace that more than your own individual stuff?
Well, we figured with two people being together and with it being on YouTube instead of just being able to listen to it, that it would be easier to get views and get recognized, which, I mean, I'd say it's better than we've been getting more, even though it's still not a lot of views, we've been getting more on there than we have when we were just alone, because you're just listening to it and people want to see like your emotions, they want to see, and having two people together is good because then you can have a debate, and people like to see debates, they like to see when they crash heads or whatever, but I just think it seemed a lot easier and more fluent to do it that way.
Big word, nice word.
Why is it fluent?
Well, I think it's because, like, when you got two people that are kind of like-minded, and it's like we want to do the same thing career-wise as well, so it's like you might as well just work with somebody that has the same mindset, has the same goal for you, and then you guys could just do it together, build together. I mean, that's all you ever hear for is find someone who is like-minded like you, who wants to do the same thing, and then, you really never have to do anything alone. You can literally do it with that person. And like he said, it's a lot easier because, like, audio-wise, I guess it's nice if you want to drive or something, be in a car, and you could just listen to it in your car. But, like, from watching podcasts, like, we watch some similar podcasts ourselves, and it's like when you watch them, you could, like, see the people. You want to be visual with it. You don't want to just be, like, all audio with it. And it seems like, again, you can see the emotion, you can see the laughter, you can see the jokes, the eyes, and everything like that. So, yeah, I would say that'd be the best reason why.
I think some of my best episodes too are when I have other people on the channel, because I mean, you can sit here and you can talk to a camera and it just doesn't feel the same when you have the dynamic of other people.
It's even it's harder to talk to by yourself about stuff.
You feel like you forget things.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in your thought process.
It's easier to bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
And we get that a lot too when we did our Starbucks talk show.
Yeah.
It's great because you guys you go off of each other and you bounce back and forth, and that's great. That's the dynamic.
And you don't have to talk for a certain period amount of time. Like, you each have your short little things, and then someone else gets to talk. You don't have to keep going.
I feel like talking by yourself and alone for a while is like, man, like, this feels like forever. But, like, when you have a conversation with somebody, it's, like, so much more easier.
Right, and that's why I started video podcasting, for one. That's why we started doing the video, because it's easier. People like watching more than just listening, because that's just the one thing. And the second thing is, I just wanted to compliment you because I like your guys' podcast more than your podcast.
Thank you.
Individually.
Thank
because the fact that you guys are a great like duo, and then you bring Jalen into it, you guys have this great podcast where you both know what's going on, but you all have your own takes, and it's better, and it just brings out the better of both of you. So I do like that you guys collabed in that.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it.
So where this conversation is going for the future of Chicken for Breakfast is that we do possibly want to do like more getting other people instead of making it just about me and my opinions, because at the end of the day, we'd all like to think that what we say matters to other people.
Facts.
But there are some topics that A, we don't know about ourselves.
Yeah.
B, we're not experienced. Like, I'm 19. I'm not experienced in a lot. Like, I know what I went through. I know what I've dealt with.
How you gonna say youngin'?
I know.
You ain't nothing but 1 year older than the man.
So?
Hey, man, it's a year is a huge difference out here right now.
One good year or bad year could really derail a person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's all the transitions and everything. Like, we've all experienced similar situations.
Facts.
But the future for Chicken for Breakfast is to continue video podcasting and continue to integrate other podcasts, integrate other people in general, maybe get like a co-host or two that know how Chicken for Breakfast works, because like I was thinking about this after we did our Starbucks show. It's like we did whack recaps. That was really fun. I enjoyed that show a lot.
Yeah, that one was smooth.
That was good, and it was just like we're talking about something completely random, but we made it work. Like we have to do this podcast right now. It's completely random, but we got to make it work, and that's something I like. I don't like sitting. I do like podcasting. I love podcasting. I wouldn't keep it going this long if I didn't. And I love giving my opinions. I love talking, and just being in front of the camera. But I also like editing. I also like doing all that other stuff.
Yeah, editing.
The editing is you're a goat right now for the group. Like you're it.
Yeah.
However, though, I guess podcasting kind of helps, especially if you want to be like someone like on TV or on air. Like we're in front of only these two can really see you. You know, that one for you, but like just being in front of the camera makes you feel comfortable. It feels like we get experience. We just really practicing this. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
While we're
big
in school.
thing, is
Like,
practice,
we're really
yeah.
just practicing for our future careers. And who knows? We could be here. It'd be nice to have a successful podcast and have your career, because the podcast could be once a week making some bread,
yeah.
some cheddar, some pepper jack.
See, that's why. That's kind of why I like kept it going. Like, I don't have the goal of like, man, I want by the end of this course, I want to have 8,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm doing this, and each week when I upload, I try to do something different, or I try to add something, or I just try to make it better, whether it be audio or whatever. I know with your guys' podcast, when we edit that, it's like we try to do something different with it. We try to make it different. So it's more of like this whole thing has been a great learning experience more than anything.
That is very true.
It's just
Yeah.
it's why we kept it going. Just see how well we can commit to something and see how well we can.
A lot has changed. We were in
Do all
one
that,
little
so-
podcast room to the green screen room to the in here locations. We even did one in the studio.
And then that.
And then,
little
yeah, like,
couch.
well, nobody will see that. Yeah, that's crazy. But it's like we got better, though, each time, though.
Yeah.
So, like, we went from having no mics to we got
Oh,
mics.
yeah.
We all got mics, so
Yeah, we got mics now.
yeah.
There was a lot of things we didn't have before that we got now, or ideas are expanding. So, it's actually been pretty nice, though. I like this. I like this a lot.
So to wrap things up here, what we can take from this conversation is that we're always learning, we're always growing, and we don't always have to do things for other people. Some things that we do should be for ourselves, and just have fun with it. Having fun with the podcast.
I agree.
That's how we do it.
Facts.
Okay. So thank you for tuning in. I know eating chicken for breakfast might sound a little strange, but at the end of the day, we enjoy it, and we hope you will too. This has been Jax.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Darian,
Appreciate you having me back.
thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you all in the next episode.